Welcome to the social circle where creators come together to turn ideas into impact and goals into a reality. I am Candace, and this is
Jennifer. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And I'm so glad you're joining us from wherever you are in the world. Happy to have you here.
Okay, Jennifer. How
Yes,
many
ma'am.
times have you stared at your screen, wondered what to post, and got frustrated and walked away? Or sat there for hours doom scrolling because you have no idea what to post?
The doom scroll is the worst. I gotta say, that was my Achilles heel. I would pop online and I would look at what everybody else was doing and think, oh, that's okay. I could do that too. And I would try and it would fail miserably. And then it was like, well, it worked for them. Why didn't it work for me? I'll do something else. Maybe it was that video. Never dawned on me that I never understood what was actually happening.
Exactly. Same. And that's why today we want to help you take your ideas that you don't think can be turned into content and help you to where you're never going to run out. You're going to be able to come up with consistent content after this episode is done.
That's
Let's
what we're
get
here
into it.
for. So the next part we want to introduce you guys to, if you haven't heard it before, it's called Circle Hacks, where we introduce bite-sized pieces of information that we have learned that was helpful for our content game, and it's going to help you level up yours. One thing when I was getting started in my journey was because I was watching and looking during my doom scrolls what everybody else was posting, I would actually go to that reel. And if I found a piece of their reel that I found or wanted to recreate myself, I would copy it. So I would either do a screenshot or I would copy and paste and put it into the Notes app in my iPhone. And I would take usually the hook and I would focus on the caption or the description below the reel of what I was trying to recreate for my own content ideas because I saw something that I wanted to study and rework. So I would have labeled different notes in my phone that would say content to try, content to study, content to reuse. And then I would just add to it and space it out in between each note in each folder that I had. For me, that just helped me kind of go back and recognize, okay, this is where I struggle, this is where I'm okay, this is where I'm excelling. So that for me was something that was extremely helpful, was using the phone app in my phone to just take my notes. And I think Candace had another approach that was helpful for her.
I think the best thing is to just keep some type of way to keep track, right? Keep a list, keep a journal. I use screenshots. I did screenshots for pretty much everything. My phone was filled with screenshots because then I could take that copy and study it and understand why it was successful. And then I had all the creators' information if I wanted to go back and look at the video, if I wanted to reference them when I recreated their video, then I had their names. So, I kind of had everything I needed and it didn't cause me any additional work for me to
Mhm.
just screenshot. But there are so many ways you can do this, guys, right? Think about it.
Yeah.
Google Sheets. You could put it in your notes in your phone. You can do the screenshots. You can do voice memos to yourself in your
Instagram
phone.
allows you to save to categories in your Instagram account too. So when you find that reel, if you don't want to write it or copy and paste or screenshot, you can also just save that reel to your personal filing inside of Instagram, which is a really cool tool that Instagram offers as well. Forgot
And
about
you're
that one.
hooking up the creator by saving their video.
Exactly.
So ideas will pop up at the most random times. I am a million ideas in the shower girl, and I've always been like that. I don't know why. I would walk into work at 0700. My friend Jennifer and I, not you, but my other friend Jen, she would come in and we would both be like, okay, so I got this idea in the shower for this program. Just because you're relaxed and you're thinking. So that's the time
Mhm.
where it's easy to have your phone right there and auto message, hell, record a video. It's
Record
just for
it.
you.
Yeah.
Just a way to keep that information in the back of your mind that you want to come back to at some point because all
Yep.
you're doing is learning and growing from all of these things. And then keeping your list also down the road gives you the opportunity to expand, to maybe niche down, to maybe select one or two specific things from that list and really hone in because that's where your content, like that's what your audience likes. You could use ChatGPT to help analyze that and ask, well, what are their most common problems, right? What are the 10 most common problems of this target audience? Boom. Keeping track of your ideas is vital to come back to. I've gone back and looked at so much of the stuff I wrote down in the beginning.
It's really
Like,
very helpful, right? Not only are you organizing your own thoughts, but you're inevitably organizing your content strategy as you do these things. And this just helps you down the road, right? So it's a learning curve in the beginning to kind of figure out which option works best for you in your moment, right? But down the road, you're going to have all of this content to fall back to and be like, okay, so the way this person did their vlog, right? How they talked as an overtalk in the audio, how they had things popping up in the screens, whatever, right? It's just
mhm.
a really great resource for yourself to reuse again and add and build in your own content library as you're learning how to create this forever content, evergreen content.
Evergreen. Okay, so let's talk about where to find content ideas because you can go two ways with this, right? You can go to the extreme left or the extreme right, meaning you can just get constantly overwhelmed with researching and fall into that hole, or you can be on the opposite end of it and not be doing any of this at all. So these are just easy ways that we have found that you can use to create content. And they're in things that you won't even think that are important enough to post content about, but they are. Number one, you're doom scrolling. You're paying attention to other people's videos. Maybe they're in your niche, maybe they're not. Go into their comments. What are people saying? What questions are they asking? What are they complaining about? What are they happy about? Those are all things that you can create content about. It gives you an opportunity to not only use those questions from other people's other content creators, you can also use the comments from your own reels and you can respond to them, showing more of who you are as a content creator and a person and a business owner and build your community.
I totally agree with that. I've done that many times. And it's just when you're able, and you can do this strategically, right? You can plan out how you want to respond so that you can get even more engagement. So if you have one reel that did very, very well and has a lot of both positive or negative, you can plan out a week's worth of content daily responding to these comments and just drawing more attention to whatever it is you want them to do. So that's one really great strategy, which I love that you brought that up. And the other one that a lot of us forget to utilize is our own personal what's happening now in our lives experience. For my example here, I'm a parent, I'm a working mom, and I'm married because that's the kind of content that I focus around. I pretty much spawn off my ideas based on interactions that have been happening with my husband, my kids, me just turning almost 40. So a lot of the thing that, you got to remember too is a lot of people are watching you like a fishbowl, right? So we are just always peeping inside from the outside. We want to see what you're doing. It draws us in a lot more. So one great thing that you can always rely on is thinking about through your day. What is it that you're doing every day? And I know creating styles of content, we call them like Get Ready With Me or Behind the Scenes or A Day in the Life. Those are just styled videos, right? You're just basically watching us do whatever it is we're doing. So we could share on our feed us recording this podcast right now and tag it as, here's our hook, come join our podcast with us or something like that. So it would just entertain people. They're also hopefully learning from whatever it is the content or the subject matter is in that context of the video. And Candace just had to remind me myself that I got my own content from something I've already been doing because I found that marriage funny is relatable and it gets a lot of attraction from people when I battle with my husband on things. I've found a format of a video that worked very well multiple times in a row Now I've decided to take that one piece and I'm putting in new subject matter, but it's still the same format and it's performing okay right now. And it's a new test, but this is all about finding one pattern that worked very well and then just replacing it with the things that are happening in your life that can be relatable if that's the kind of content you're choosing. It's just knowing the pattern.
Sharing your personal experiences and what's going on in your life so people know the real you. I mean, Jennifer, we just talked about that with you. Like, I could come up with one right now, having to be a parent of a teenager. Like,
Exactly.
I could come up with five things right now that are going on in my real life that happen or have happened in my real life that people could relate to. If I put the words correctly, it could be a hit. So that's the kind of things that you don't think about moving your seat, having to get into the car
And all
after
the
your
mirrors are
husband
adjusted.
and adjusting everything back to where it was.
Yep.
You don't remember that everybody else,
Yep.
possibly not everybody, but a large majority of people are probably dealing with the same thing. That one little personal, relatable thing you could make into a video or a reel, a mistake that you made.
Oh
A
yeah.
mistake that you made in your business or your niche or as a parent or in your life or whatever, something that you don't think somebody can relate to, but probably they can. Like it's a big world out there on the internet. Get the number one, look into those comments. You know, what is the audience asking? What feedback are they giving? Are they what good, bad, and different? Personal experiences. Use those personal experiences. The third one is going to be current things going on. That's going to be trends, newsworthy stuff, other viral reels or moments from content creators. You
Super Bowl
could,
just happened. Kendrick Lamar is everywhere right now. And
oh
that's
my
what Super
gosh.
Bowl was early January? Yeah. And it's
Right.
now end of
We're going on
February.
3 weeks of me consistently watching that Super Bowl halftime show every single day.
See,
So, yes, my
and
family
that's
is going a little crazy.
it's that's the part about you can stretch out a current event or a trend for a period of time until there's a next one. You know, that's just a way to help add to your constant flow of content. Because if Kendrick Lamar, as an example, was super trending because of his messaging and the Super Bowl song that he had performed at halftime, and now there's like seven of his songs that are going viral because he and himself and his messaging are just people are connecting to that and they want to continue to see it until they don't. And that is a part of the flow of social media. And that's just knowing when to hop on a trend and when not to, which that's definitely something that we always share about.
And being ahead of current trends
Mhm.
and events. For example, we will create sometimes a month in advance of holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's
Mhm.
Day. Sometimes we, Jennifer and I, will put that content out earlier than normal because we know that it's going to come back around. It's going to be relevant SEO wise at some point. Another good example of this is when they came out with the tampon study. I don't know if you remember that. Last year, they came out with the study of tampons and toxicities and chemicals and things. And I posted a reel about it with very SEO. I was testing SEO specific and I put all the SEO things in there and it sat and didn't get much engagement. But when that story started to take off and people started to talk about it more on social media, that video rose and rose and then it started getting in the search engines. And so that's how you can work those current trends and events into your content while utilizing the SEO ahead of time.
Yep,
Pro tip.
getting in advance of something is just adding to your skill level as a marketer, and it's something that can only help you. It can't hurt you. It may feel like it's hurting you because you're not getting immediate satisfaction from that, but down the road you're going to see that, just like she explained. I love that.
So now you have three things that you can just look at in your daily life. Three easy things: the audience, your own personal shit, and current events. That's it. And you can create these lists and say, okay, well, this happened today. Oh, well, somebody could relate to this. Little comments you say to your husband and your kids that you don't think about, like the tone. Why are you speaking to me in that tone? Why are you talking to me in that tone?
I
Or
don't like
whatever.
that.
Hello, how many people can relate to that?
Yep,
So it's the little things that you should start
testing it.
recognizing
Yep.
and see what other people can relate to or like gather from it. How will they comment? Will it be good? Will it be bad? Will it be confrontational? That kind of thing.
Agreed. I want to go into our next topic of interest, which is something we like to call the social spotlight, where we're just basically giving you breakdowns on what's currently hot right now in the digital world that helps give you tools to use every day with all of what we're talking about. Found this one especially helpful in the beginning because one, wasn't getting a lot of people commenting on any of my reels. So I'm like, okay, how do I start the conversation? What is something that is being stated or asked that I could answer? And that tool that I found under our social spotlight here is something called answerthepublic.com. This is a website that helps you to brainstorm. If you're not currently skilled with noticing your own personal stories and all of those things, that's fine. But if you're trying to get started with understanding how to brainstorm, answerthepublic.com in your niche is a very great helpful tool because it offers you multiple different responses that people are getting for questions that they're asking, and you're able to go in, kind of decipher what's taking a priority that you can answer. What knowledge do you have about that question that person has that needs an answer to? And how can you show that answer? It looks different for everybody, how, your personality comes across.
I haven't used it in a little while, so I don't know if it's been updated, but you used to be able to do like 3 questions for free, and they also had a paid version. We'll put it in the show notes. If you're interested, go ahead and check it out.
Pointing that out, like I mentioned before, different style of video matters.
Besides Answer the Public, because I used the crap out of that in the beginning too. Something that I talked about with our group very beginning of 2025 when we talked about social media predictions was a new experience of content creation, this like vlogging, real life, behind the scenes type of things, just creators sharing their real life and the real struggles. And it's not this picture perfect, beautiful, $1 million house and like perfect car and all, it's just real life and real people living. And I've been seeing it creep in more and more now that we're at the end of February going into March. I believe that it's just going to continue to grow the vlogging and just the real life. What was the example that you showed us the other day?
He's got
All he did was get his lunch ready.
That's all he recorded was himself. He started the video with him sitting at his desk, and all we're seeing is him typing on a keyboard, and he's putting timestamps. He said at the very top of his hook is, "Have lunch with me at work." And I'm like, ooh, okay. So then it's a 30-minute break, and he timestamps nearly everything that he's doing in 27 minutes of his lunch break, but it's very short form. I want to say that video was less than 30 seconds because he very well skilled with recording different movement as he's walking from his desk space to his kitchen space where he's making his lunch and then walking back. He's eating, he's throwing the trash away, and then he's like going back to clock in for the day. This was so intriguing to me, and it related so well for me because I'm like, that is me right now. I'm clocking in every day and I'm having to take a 30-minute break to eat a crappy lunch. And that's something that when I looked and I realized, okay, so this kind of content piece, a lot of people are going to relate to this because it's something so many Americans and everyone worldwide are doing, taking a break at work. So it doesn't have to be in an office. You could be a construction worker and you're just sitting under a tree, right? Eating your lunch in the grass if that's where you are. I don't know. But it can be something as simple as recording that. It doesn't have to be so overly edited and overly produced like some of these creators on these apps do. A lot of people will connect with you on just the humanity of what you're sharing in your everyday. And that was something that I really enjoyed. So I'm currently in process of testing myself to see how well I can do. And I'm definitely going to talk about that inside the group.
Speaking of the group, I want to highlight inside the VIP circle because yesterday we did week 2 of our boot camp, which is about being the brand. It all ties back into creating the content you want to create. If you are creating content about fixing up cars and you don't know a thing about cars, you're probably creating the wrong content. Trying to teach people how to make money online, you probably maybe want to show people how to make money online. Those are just things that in the beginning we didn't think about. And that's why we have structured our boot camp. The first thing is your mindset,
100%.
because after that,
100%.
you
I
have to
agree.
work on yourself and building yourself as the brand,
Yeah.
because you are the product, not what you promote or what you sell. Like, you are the product, you're the brand. If you need some help with your content creation, check out our boot camp. We give you 7 days for free. So it's a no-brainer. Just come on over, check it out, watch the videos, give us feedback. And if you don't like it at the end of the 7 days, you can leave.
If you figured out how you're never going to run out of content and you want to tag us in that content idea that you're sharing, go ahead and tag us. My Candace is here at Just a Marketing Chick, and I'm over here at Jen_Radilak. That's my name, where we want to see your growth. We want to see your improvement. And if you enjoyed this episode, we want you to hit that subscribe button today. And if you're ready for more, you can join our VIPs for next level support, and make sure you go to that bootcamp mindset section, where we're helping you figure out from beginner content all the way to scaling your business. And please remember to like and follow our podcast so that you can continue getting these weekly updates.
You guys, planning ahead reduces your stress. It'll help you keep posting consistently. And just remember that content ideas are literally everywhere. You just have to know where to look and how to view it.
Have
Have
a
a
great
great
week.
week.